Well, hey there and welcome back. My name is Jason Dykstra from theycallmedad.ca, and it is wonderful to see you here again. Today I want to talk a little bit about a quote that I heard probably about 6 months ago, and the quote goes something like this: "Some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried." What does that mean? Let's get into it. Some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried. It's a quote from Megan Devine in her book, "It's Okay That You're Not Okay." And it's a quote that has really just resonated with me, especially over the last 6 months since I've read it. And I just keep coming back to it and coming back to it again, especially for those of us that have experienced some sort of loss or grief in their life. As I mentioned in the last video, we lost our son Ezra. He was a stillborn. And one of the things that it really taught me is that I can't fix everything. I can't protect my family from everything. There's just some things in life that happen that we can't fix, we can't control, we can't do anything about. And it's not because we're too weak, we're not strong enough, or because we're not loved, or because we're thinking a certain way, anything along those lines. Some things just happen. This past weekend I was speaking at a men's breakfast and talking just a little bit about my story with my son Ezra and what that experience was like. Talking a little bit about my word for the year for 2019, which is surrender, and what does it look like to surrender that control. And we talked just a little bit about, especially for men, how we're protectors, we're fixers. I mean, that's something that I've often taken pride in. When my family has a problem, I can go out and fix it. Or when my family needs protection from something, I'm right there to help them, to walk beside them, to help protect them in some way. And there's just some things that we can't protect people from. There's some things that we just can't fix. And I think men especially are fixers. That's just part of our nature. And I know a lot of guys, and maybe you're one of them, that sees every problem as something to be fixed. But here's the thing, guys. We can't fix every problem because some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried. So what does carrying even mean? What does it look like to actually carry some of that sorrow, that grief, those emotions, those feelings? What does it look like to actually carry that, to walk alongside that? Let me just read just a really quick paragraph from the opening of this book called "It's Okay, You're Not Okay" by Megan Devine. And in here it says, "You don't need solutions, you don't need to move on from your grief. You need someone to see your grief, to acknowledge it. You need someone to hold your hand while you stand there in blinking horror, staring at the hole that was your life. Some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried." So how do we do this? As men, as human beings, how do we carry some of those things that can't be fixed? And the more that I've been through this journey, the more that I'm convinced that the only way to carry it is to attend to it, is to be present to it, is to sit in it. Because when we sit in it, when we sit in that muck, when we sit in that just really crappy place, there's something about sitting in it that actually, I don't know that it actually softens it, but we start to get used to it. And what I mean by that is we start to befriend that pain. We start to befriend that sorrow. Because at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that this idea of grief and loss is just love. It's just love that doesn't have a place to land here on this earth anymore. More that it just becomes part of who we are. The more that we can sit in that love that we had for that person, that we have for that person. Because it's not that changes. It's not that we love them less. It's not that we no longer think about them. I mean, I think about my son pretty much every single day, and it's been over 2 years. We're supposed to have this timeline apparently. Grief takes us so long, and then all of a sudden we just get over it. But we don't. We never get over it. We never get over that pain of that loss. But the more that I've been able to sit with it, to acknowledge that it exists, I can feel that love inside me just deepen. And it's really hard. I mean, there's no easy way about it. But some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried. And so what does that mean for us when we have to sit beside someone else that has lost something or someone? Whether it's a pet, a friend, a relative, a parent, a grandparent, a child. That means when we go into their world, when we enter into their space, that we can't fix the problem for them. We can only journey alongside them. We can only journey along with them. We can help to carry the pain that they are in. We can help to just be present, to acknowledge it, to feel it. We don't need to move people on from their grief. We need to sit in that grief. We need to acknowledge that it exists. We need to sit there holding their hand, whether that's metaphorically or in real life, just holding their hand, putting our arm around them, and just saying, this sucks, but I'm here for you. I'm here to witness your pain. I'm here to witness that this really crappy time. And I'm not going to sit here and try to pull you out of it, yank you out of it, tell you that everything happens for a reason, because that's all BS. But when we sit there and we acknowledge another person's pain, when we sit there, we acknowledge our pain, we can start to carry it. We can start to journey alongside someone else or ourselves. Time won't heal that grief, but if we learn how to carry it, we can take it along with us, and it becomes part of our life. And that's okay, because we're all carrying around different things. It's part of that humanness inside of us. We all have these different wounds, these different scars all over us. And it's those scars that can often connect with other people, that can join them in that suffering, in that dark place, in those difficult places. So for all of you that are out there that are carrying that pain, I just want to let you know that you're not alone in that, and that I see you, and that some things cannot be fixed. They can only be carried. So let's carry that together. So if you like this video, subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, guys, peace and love to you.